So you're telling me TikTok sells art supplies? Ahoy hoy folks, welcome back to the channel. Yes, that's right. Today I'm checking out something that I bought from the TikTok store, and well, I mean, let's not beat around the bush. I'm going to just show you this because this is not only insane, but the price of it is also incredibly insane. So down here I have this knitting machine. This is a circular knitting machine. This cost me £13.52 on the TikTok store, and I just need to check this out and see what it's about. So I've been on TikTok for a while, and I honestly just post the same things that I post on Instagram and my YouTube shorts. But when I came across this and a couple of other little bits as well, which I'll share with you, I was like, this can't be real, can it? This has to be just a toy. But it says right on the box here, more than a toy. I actually do knit. I knit, I crochet, I make bobbin lace. You know, needlecraft is something I've been involved with and done from a very young age, and I kind of drop in and out of it, but it's kind of a constant in my life. My nan, who taught me how to knit and crochet, actually used a long row knitting machine a lot. In fact, we used to call her Nanny Knitting. We would go to her house and you just hear the sound of the doom, doom, doom. She was knitting away cardigans and scarves and all sorts on there. So I know knitting machines, but I've never seen a circular knitting machine like this. So I'm really intrigued. So I think the best thing to do is just to have a proper look at this and see exactly what we've got, and then give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, let's start with the packaging, shall we? So, you can see from the front it says 8 years and above. Magical loop loom, more than a toy. Got model number. It says easy to knit, fast knitting, design, pattern and practical new tea. Down here we have got we've got some examples of knitting. Let me just show you this. The examples of knitting down here. Yeah, I don't think that's possible on this at all. So a little bit of false advertising there of what to expect. Let's have a look at the back. So this has been a little bit crushed in transit. We've got a couple of holes here, and yeah, it's a bit of a dented box. So we've got, okay, so there's a little bit of instructions here about tension. Creates all kinds of practical items. So hats, gloves, scarves, toys. Toys will be interesting. Scarves, yeah, I'm guessing so. Gloves? Not so sure. Hat, yeah, that's a given. However, again, the examples that they've given on here I don't think are possible on this machine. This has two modes. So it has panel knitting, which where you get long strips, like flat panels, and then it has tube knitting, where it just knits big long tubes, however long you want them. Because with two balls of yarn, random allocation of colours, and it looks like we've got a little plastic crochet hook in there and 3 yarn needles as well. Let's open this up. So I'm just going to cut the tape here. Okay, so in the box we have another box. Let's right, okay. Oh, right. So, well, that's more than the 2 bits of yarn that they said. We've actually got 2 large balls of yarn, 2 small balls of yarn. This sort of accessories. Oh, there are instructions. That's good. Interesting that they've got the tips before you start in front of the accessory installation, because I'm pretty sure this is going to need its feet on there. So it includes 4 machine pillars, 4 suction cups, 4 screws, 1 screwdriver. That's good that it comes with the screwdriver. I'll just put that down there for a second. Let's open this box up. I'm glad that so far it doesn't look to be damaged, because I was slightly worried with the box being broken. Okay, and that is, let me just reset that. I've got a little counter down here. This is the machine. So we've got tube and panel at the side there, little switch, and that obviously is where the feet go. So I am going to open this up. What have I dropped down there? That's the crochet hook. There we go, crochet hook has come out. Ah, there's a rip in the bag, that's why. Let's just continue ripping it open. Okay, so this all seems fairly self-explanatory. These go in here. That has a screw in there. We've got the little screws in here. Interesting that the holes for the screws in here are not threaded. So definitely don't want to over tighten them, because you're going to just thread that hole and then you're going to have loose feet. But let's tip out these screws. There we go. I'm just going to got that in place. Make sure that's fully seated in. And I'll tighten this enough but not over tighten it. Okay, that's fairly simple. And then we've got a little suction pad that just clips into here, apparently. What I'm going to do now is just go around, put the rest of these feet on, and I'll come back when this is all in place. Okay folks, so we're back. I put all of the legs on. I will be taking the mat off the desk just so this can actually stick down properly, but I just wanted to show you where we were. So this was actually very easy to put on. This is the tensioner. It has a little spring inside, so it's going to keep nice tension on the yarn, and there are different settings for that. I'll go through that in just a minute. But essentially this is the machine all set up. So you see we've got these hooks here. We've got the counter, which I've reset, and if I turn this, you can see it goes to, there's 48 hooks on this, so it goes through all 48 hooks, just like that. And then we get round to number 48, which is a white hook, and that also triggers the counter. So we've done one loop on that. So actually, so far, all working rather well. Haven't put any yarn in it yet, and there's a reason for that. I don't know how. I have been reading through the instructions, and it just says thread under the white hook again and begin slowly cranking without skipping any hooks. Wind very slowly, watching carefully to make sure not one hook is skipped for the first 3 or 4 rows. It doesn't actually tell you how to cast on. So casting on is when you create your foundation of loops for knitting, and I don't know how to do that. There are some videos on here, so I think I'm going to have to go away and look at those and actually see how this is done. I want to have a look at the other accessories that came with this as well. So obviously we have the screwdriver, that's now defunct. We have a little crochet hook, and we have some yarn needles in different sizes, which is actually very nice. It's good to have a selection of sizes. I want to show you something else that I bought from TikTok as well. Actually, 2 little things. So we have this crochet hook here, which is a 3.75mm crochet hook. Very odd size. But I have down here this collection of crochet hooks. These cost me 87 pence, which is just ridiculous. These are aluminium crochet hooks in a bamboo handle. It's got the sizes of the hooks very clearly displayed on the handles as well. Oh, that's actually quite a nice grip, and because it's slightly flat, there's a nice turn in that. And if you want to see me do any crochet projects, do leave a comment down below. I'll happily do some amigurumi with some crochet. I also got to go with that. This cost 52 pence, and I've not tried this out at all. But let's just have a little look. Now, I have never had an issue with keeping tension when I'm knitting or crocheting. I have a little wrap around my little finger that I do, but this apparently is a tensioner ring. So you pop this on your finger here, has a little loop there that the yarn goes through, and it's easy to keep tension. So it'll be interesting to see if that works as well. So if I do any crochet projects and you want to see those, I'll give this a test out as well. But for now, back to the knitting machine. Yeah, let's find out how to cast on and then get cracking from there. And I'm back. Right, so the instructions actually are quite simple. The links here took me to Facebook videos without any sound, which was Very unusual. But I've just been having a look at this yarn that we've got here as well. So we've got these are very similar colours, but actually, if you look at the weight of the yarn, this one is much thinner than this. So I want to try the thicker one. I think we're going to get a better result with that. Oh, I've got a bit of cardboard there. Oh, that's nice. I can actually see the guts. It's inside there. So I believe what we have to do is drop some yarn in the middle like this, and then for the first row I'm going to go under that hook. I'm going to turn clockwise and then round the back of that hook, under that hook, round the back of the next. So we're literally going in and out of all of these. So odd even like that. Okay, now we've come back to the white pin. As I go past that, click, we've done one row. Now, I put this into the tensioner here. There we go. And then we're going to come down and actually place it in the tensioner. So I think I want quite a high tension on this. This should, as we go, lift up and give the tension. In fact, so the tension in here, it says that the closest one is tightest, moderate for the middle one, the furthest one away is a loose tension. You can go very tight, which it does say for thinner yarn, by going pretty much through all three of them. I'm going to keep it just at the tightest for now, and then I'm just going to go round, and yeah, so this is essentially what this is doing is it's creating. It's catching the yarn with the hook, it's bringing it down, and then these fins here are bringing the yarn back to create the loop. So the next loop is being formed underneath the previous loop. I'm going very slowly on this because I don't want to drop any stitches. Tension feels good. I'm turning clockwise, and it says to do 2 or 3 rows slowly, so you're getting the hang of everything. So I'm just going to do that now, and we'll come back and see how it's all going. Oh, there we go. So that's row 2. Okay, so that's 6 rows, and I'm pretty sure I haven't dropped any stitches there, so I can now continue. So I'm in tube mode. I'm going to do, I think, the simplest project that I can do with this, which is a beanie hat, and I'm just going to do it in a single colour, and I'm really going to test this out. So I think for this I need to do 100 rows. So I'm 6 in. Let's time lapse the rest. So as we play through this time lapse, I just want to say a big thank you to my patrons. Even though this machine was by no means expensive, most of the things on this channel, art and craft supplies, are paid for by patrons. You know, without them, this channel just wouldn't be able to do the fun things that it does. So if you'd like to join the Patreon, join the exclusive Discord, have extra chances in all of the giveaways every month, then details are down below. I must say, I spoke to a friend of mine, not a Patreon member, just a general friend of mine online, who also has a circular knitting machine, and we were discussing the similarities between this and a machine called a Centro, and yeah, this is pretty much a knockoff version of that machine. It's almost identical. In fact, I think it is exactly identical. One thing I will say about this machine is it's actually quite quiet. For a knitting machine, it is incredibly quiet. There is a little bit of resistance and a little bit of a noise when you get to that 48th pin, to that white pin, and that is the mechanism for the row counter. It kind of does a little clunk as it goes past there, but actually very, very nice. Another thing I noticed whilst using this as well is that actually every single needle is numbered. So there is a little number for every needle, which just makes counting even easier. If you're doing the panel stitching, which I have to say, I don't know whether the counter is going to work for panels, but we'll test it out at some point. But yeah, every needle is absolutely numbered, which is a small little detail, but something I really like. Another thing I just want to quickly mention before we power to the end of this, because it is going incredibly quickly, is that my aim for the channel this year is to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you are not subscribed already, now's the perfect time to go and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well so you never miss any video in the future. But for now, let's get back to this time lapse. Okay, so the eagle-eyed of you out there will have noticed the yarn has changed the colour. Don't worry, it's not magic. We just ran out of the yarn, so there wasn't really enough in here. It's really swatching. But actually, from what we've got here, I quite like how it feels. It actually feels really nice with this weight of yarn. I had a few issues. There are like this. There's little bits of loose pilling, which is just, it got caught in the tension there, and we had a bit of splitting, but that's the yarn, not the machine. Now we need to cast off, and thankfully the instructions for this actually do tell us what to do. So first of all, I need to remove this from here, hold it straight up, and then do one more row around until we get back to the white hook. There we are. Right, now I need to use a needle, and it says, yeah, there we go, I can see that. So it's going to start dropping off the loops. It will just cut this to a more appropriate length. I've threaded a yarn needle. It's said to do this to the right of the hook, but yeah, we've already dropped a stitch there, so let's see if I can fix that. Okay, so the instructions actually not great for casting off, so I'm literally just going in and I'm just taking off each of the loops from the mechanism, inside out. There we go. I know I've got some drop stitches here. I will see if I can fix them at the end. But at least now I know not to do that next time I do this. So I'm just going in and making sure I've got my finger down so I'm not popping off the next loop. Right, okay, so it's all off of the machine now. I just want to quickly turn this in here. So this is where I changed yarn. What I'm going to do is just tie this section off, and then I want to show you the actual quality of the knit itself. Right, so here we are. I just want to show you this because the actual knitting is really nice. I was expecting it to be a really loose, netty, meshy type knit, but actually it has come out superbly well. I would be very interested to see whether we can do twists and things on here, but it's a little bit shorter than I wanted because of the amount of yarn, but this is basically a reversible beanie. What I need to do is to close the ends. You'll see as we go through, there are no dropped stitches at all. Not a single one until right at the very end when we were doing that cast off. I have managed to fix them with the crochet hook. I'm not going to do a tutorial on fixing dropped stitches here. That will be for another time. But the way this knitting machine works means that now I can gather this, I can pull this, and you can see that it is pulling in that end. And I'm just going to tuck this in as we go and just cinching it closed. There we are. So we've got a nice cinch at the top there. I can just tie in that end with one of those needles and get that nice and neat. This end up here, I'm going to do the same thing, but where I have fixed those dropped stitches, I've got a couple of loops. So I'm going to go through those as well, just to make sure we are nice and secure up here. And then let's start cinching. Okay, so I know what you're thinking, how is this a hat? Well, because it's an empty tube, we just pop this bit up here, like that, and there we go. So this is now a brimless beanie, but we've got this nice bluey grey on the outside, and then if we flip it the other way, have a nice pink hat. I suppose I should probably try this on, shouldn't I, whilst I give my final verdict on this machine. Okay, so what started out as me being really unsure about a product has actually turned into quite a surprising revelation. Let me just, I'll show you this in person. So this is the hat that we've made today. Very simple, very quick. The actual knitting time on this, 12.5 minutes. I timed myself. 12.5 minutes to knit a double layered beanie. I mean, that is just insane. Yes, this is a knockoff copy of the Centro. This is the QJH. I've spoken to a friend and they've confirmed it's pretty much exactly the same as the Centro. But I'm actually really, really pleased. I definitely want to try out some different things with this. I want to try out some patterns. I want to try out some different yarns as well. Let me just show you what the hat looks like. I'm not really a hat person, but there we go. That is the pink side. I mean, it doesn't go with what I'm wearing. But actually, very comfortable, very warm as well. And let's flip it over to the other side and let's have a look at that. Might go a little bit better with what I'm wearing. But you can have a little bit of that pink showing through as well, which is yeah, it's quite nice. But yeah, there we go. I've knitted a hat from start to finish in about half an hour, including learning how to cast on and cast off with this machine. It is incredibly simple to do and to use, and for £13 and 52 pence, I think it was 52 pence, less than £14 to get this is just incredible. I definitely need to look more at the TikTok store and see what else is on there, because this is just, yeah, I'm blown away. And actually, with myself and Andrew becoming dads soon, this is going to be very useful for making sure our children are very warm through the winter. So very happy with this. There is still stuff that I need to try out with this. I want to try out the panel knitting, see how that goes. That'll be for scarves and blankets and stuff like that. Again, very useful when we're going to have kids in the house. But the quality of the knit itself is just lovely. It's really, really nice. I'm super, super impressed. I'm going to have to show my mother-in-law this because she's a knitter too, and I think she'll get a real kick out of this. But listen, I definitely do want to do more of these kinds of crafts on the channel, as well as sculpting and other things as well. So leave a comment down below if you'd like me to do some more needlecraft, if you want me to do some crochet and amigurumi, all that kind of stuff. Leave a comment down below. I will definitely look into that. But for now, as always, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.